Okay, welcome to a 5-minute lesson on databases. So first thing I'd like to do is have a read of these questions and see if you can write an exam question based on these answers. So pause the video and give it a try. Okay, so we're back. So this is actually the answer, but what you should be looking for when you're writing your exam question is asking a question where they have to identify a loop which runs for a specific amount of time. Obviously, because it's saying a for loop, because it's a determinate type of loop. So in your question, if you've talked about something around how to identify a loop which runs for a specific number of time, that's totally right, and that would be a great question to ask. So today we're going to look at the history of databases. First thing, the history of databases. Obviously, databases aren't a new thing. They've been around for hundreds of years, thousands of years. It's basically just a catalogue of everything. Obviously, one of the first recorded ones was William the Conqueror, who created a catalogue of everybody in the country, so a piece of land, every man, woman, and child, every animal owned, all that type of thing, to keep a track and a record of everything. So databases are a real way to house information. Now, the key sort of thing we need to think about is this idea of data versus information. Now, data is sort of unorganized, raw facts which have no meaning. It can just be a list of numbers. To turn it into information, what that means is it's been given some meaning in some way, so whether that's put in a table or something like that. So it's given context, so you understand what it is. Obviously, the example here is saying it's just got strawberry, vanilla, things like this here. The context is tubs of ice cream sold yesterday, and then we can process it, put it in a chart or a table, and it would show exactly everything that goes on from yesterday. So we're giving it context to create it meaningful information. Now, databases are used to help us do this across the world. Databases run the world, everything. Schools, hospitals, police forces, government, online shops, everybody uses these electronic databases to keep track of everything. So without them, the world wouldn't be the place that it is today. And databases are really good because it's really efficient to search for information, to pull out trends, to find key pieces really, really quickly. The key thing we need to think about as well as a little flick back is this idea of different data types. And this is important within a database. If you're setting a database up, you need to make sure you get the right database. A bit like when you create a Python program, it needs to be correct. So we've got strings, which are a collection of alphanumeric characters, integers, whole numbers, real, which is decimals, Boolean, true or false, and characters. And also in a database, there is a data field as well. So these are the key terms within a database. So we have key terminology. So we have a field, which this is a field here, this one here. So a field is one complete column of your database. It's in the table. A record is a complete picture of one person, so a complete bit. All the records are stored in a table, or this whole table is called an entity. So another key area is a primary key. So this is the primary key field here. So a primary key is a unique identifier in a database. It cannot be duplicated because it is unique, and this identifies each person. So for example, you have an exam number which is unique to you because there might be two people with the same name as yourself. So that's the main identifier, is that candidate number or your exam number. So key thing as well, we've just looked at one database. It's called a flat file database. It's just one table. Now sometimes on those one tables is quite a bit of data redundancy, and what data redundancy is, if you look at the top here, is where we duplicate data. So you can see the class, the tutor, and the room is duplicating. It's duplicated 3 times. Now the issue is with data redundancy, it can lead to mistakes, it can make the file size bigger, your storage cost is better, and things like that. So one solution is to split the database up. So we can split the database up into different tables. Now this is looking at a relational database. So where we split it up, and then what we need to do is create a link between. And you can see there's still 2 primary keys because every database table should have a primary key to link. So you can see here we've got a relational database, which is a link. So a relationship is where it creates two tables and there's a link between. Now the link is called a foreign key. So a foreign key is a primary key on one table, and it also exists on another table, and this is the field that actually links the tables together and creates that relationship, and that's really key. Obviously, relational databases allow data to be stored more clearly and organized, and make it quite a bit clearer. So relational databases here as well, what we have is we have different relationships, so they can link together. So if you have a number of tables, we have a one-to-one relationship. So the example of that, if there's one employee belongs to one organization, yeah, or one person has one passport, so there's one and one. One to many is where they say one customer to lots of products. So say, for example, you could be one customer on an online shopping site, but you can then buy lots of different products. And a many to many, for example, is students and classes. So there can be many students and many classes. So these are the ways that databases link. Now the way that they link on a database is like this, and obviously many is a infinite sign, and one is just a dot here, which is the way to show that. What I'd like you to do now is pause the video, give it a go at the revision sheet, making some keynotes and attempt the questions. Okay, so let's have a look at the answers. So these are the answers here to run through. So there's two primary keys, one foreign key, there's one to many, and you can see the list of things why data redundancy is bad. This is a list of resources which you can have a look through to just bolster your knowledge. And I'm going to pause the video again. I'd like you to attempt to do this exam question. Okay, so we're back. So this is the exam question. So state the name of a specific function. So A, that is a primary key. Okay, so the first one is primary key. B, state the name of this function. So B here, you can see it exists on this table, but here it is also a primary key. So that means that it is a foreign key. And then state why it's necessary. A foreign key creates the link between the two tables to create a relational database. Okay, last thing to leave you with. So if you copy this URL, it's a little tutorial to show how SQL injection works. SQL is a form of online database, and you can see how you can experiment with that. A little bit of cybersecurity. It's quite a nice task. Okay, thanks for watching.